What's up, my fellow Koopalings? Yoshi here, and thanks for watching the update trailer. Left 4 Dead has been a blast this past year and a half making, and of course, it's inspired by the popular series Left 4 Dead with a D. Perhaps my favorite Xbox 360 game of all time. Originally, the Left 4 Dead series was created because of a lack of, no Left 4 Dead 3, right? And a lack of that general kind of niche genre in the video game world. Now, we have had a few really good ones like World War Z and Earthfall, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, have any of you seen E3 2021? Everything is Left 4 Dead now. It's kind of crazy. And I love it. Before we go over the patch notes, I wanted to recap the story and the adventure so far. Of course, in Left 4 Dead Chapter 1, you and your friends are out in the wilderness camping when suddenly zombies attack. You have to make your way through the forest back to civilization. You make it to your town, through a park, and up a mountain to escape via helicopter, which is where Left 4 Dead Chapter 2 comes in. The helicopter crashes right outside the city limits, and you make your way through a lighthouse and some seaside shanties, a farm, and ultimately you have to make your way through one heck of a maze of a prison or penitentiary in order to escape to the big city through the sewer system, which is right where Chapter 3 picks up. You're in the sewers, you boot up the power plant, which gains you access to the city. There's a construction zone, there's a destroyed zone that you have to navigate. And of course the city, the big time city, well, there's a lot of citizens that are very wary of strangers, travelers, and of course zombies. So you better watch out, because they're gonna get you if you're not careful. Ultimately, you make your way down the road to the airport, where you're able to find another chopper, and you take off into the sunset. Or do you? I'm also pleased to announce that chapters 4, 5, and 6 are officially in development. Of course, I've been working on tons and tons of features, updates, and improvements to the current maps. So as you can see here, there are lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of notes. And look at that, even things that I still haven't, finished yet. So there's actually kind of a lot. Let's just focus on the biggest ones for now. Well, the biggest noticeable changes, especially for Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, is the new autumn setting. So I replaced a lot of the shrubs and most of the trees with orange and yellow and red variations to bring about the autumn season, which is obviously the best time to have in a zombie apocalypse. So aside from the huge autumn shift in color and tone and whatnot, a couple of the bigger changes in Chapter 1 is all of the chests have slightly different weapons, and they have more ammo and more types of ammo for all the different types of weapons that you can find on the map. There are also a few new chests in places where people tend to run out of ammo, so I restocked those areas to hopefully alleviate those gameplay concerns, because I don't really want ammo to be a concern. As long as people are sharing, that should be just fine. I also put a lot of invisible barriers and fences and railings, like on the bridge and higher up places in the finale, so it's harder to just fall off and die. I didn't want that to be a barrier of frustration when maybe you're on your last life and you're fighting the zombies and you're backing up, and then whoops, you back off right off the cliff, and then you get so mad that you never play the map again. So I didn't want that to be an issue. So that allows people, particularly in the finale, to just focus on the gameplay, focus on the zombies, focus on the shooting, and focus on finishing. Also, there's a lot less zombies at the start. That was a general feedback that I got. So the first area and the kind of that wilderness area, there's less zombies. I also fixed a few zombie spawners in other areas that their trigger area was too big and it was spilling over into those areas. So you're getting a lot more zombies that were spawning in from future areas that weren't supposed to be spawning in. For Chapter 2, added a lot of lights to help you guide the path. That's a subtle map making technique that I've picked up from Valve, the creators of Left 4 Dead and Turtle Rock. Basically, subconsciously, so don't know where to go, but you see that light off in the distance, you go there, and turns out, oh yeah, you were supposed to go there. And I'm doing that in Chapter 3 as well, because people, for some reason, get lost, and that kind of sucks. I don't want something like navigation to be a barrier for gameplay. Getting lost and getting frustrated should not be a thing, particularly in the prison, which is a bit of a maze. Especially considering you can't even explore the full prison in any given game, can only explore the west side or the east side. There are a lot more painted arrows. Just be careful though, any graffiti can be shot off with one bullet. Some big visual updates though on Mama Swift's family farm. A huge update to the pumpkin patch. In this case, it's actually a pumpkin patch now. Got the dirt patches, got the pumpkins everywhere. So visually it looks great, and I personally love it. That's one thing that I experimented with replayability, is that you can't do both sides of the farm in any given gameplay. And so hopefully that'll encourage you guys to go back and play it again and then choose the other side of the farm or the other side of the prison and mix and match combinations, because there's different weapons on the east side of the prison versus the west side. And so now everything is handled when you go up to Mama Swift. You start the quest by talking to her, and then eventually when you've cleared out one section of the farm, you go back to the front of the house and talk to her again, and then you instantly get the rewards. And that reminds me, this is something I would very much like to see in creative. In Battle Royale, we now have traveling and wandering NPCs that you can interact with, you can battle, you can take quests from, etc. When are we gonna get those in creative? Because I've been wanting them forever. Similarly to Chapter 1, I had a lot of future zombie spawners spawning too early and spawning in areas where they shouldn't have. So as far as I'm aware, a lot of that has been fixed. Although for some reason, every time we get a creative update, all of the spawners in Chapter 2 break and they stop working, and I don't know why. Another visual change is on the very south of the map when you encounter the horde of exploding gas zombies right before you make it to the entrance of the penitentiary. I changed that to flatten it out. They're having trouble navigating, so I made it super flat so they can walk right up to you, and there's a lot of autumn bushes, so it looks pretty good, I think. And then another final change to the prison is it's just too freaking hard, so I rebalanced, to the best of my ability, all of the guards so they don't have quite as much health or shields, and some of them aren't quite so aggressive and just laser focus, pew pew, you're dead in 3 bullets, which happened a lot. If you weren't expecting them, people just walk right by them, and then before they even have time to realize who's shooting them, they're already knocked. And then they keep shooting at you when you're on the ground too. Yeah, I've toned that down a little bit, so hopefully that's a more pleasurable experience in overtaking the prison and getting the weapons and saving the day. Okay, so Chapter 3 is a little crazy, as you can see. It just keeps going and going and going. Good heavens. Some general big updates is I added unique music to each little section, so every time you get to a new section of the map, you get a refresh in music, which feels pretty good. Interacting with the power plant takes a little bit longer. Instead of just pressing it and instantly everything boots up, you have to wait for a couple seconds, so that feels a little more authentic with the gameplay. For the longest time, I had a lot of zombies and NPCs and bots on the surface level spawning before they should. And so when you're in the power plant navigating, doing all the things, you're hearing all of the zap sound of the zombie spawner, and then you're hearing all the shots of the NPCs because you're within range, but like, why are they shooting at you? Like, because they're above you, but they're still shooting at you? That's crazy. So finally I fixed all of that so you can walk through all of the tunnels and boot up all of the power plant nodes and do all that stuff without being preemptively attacked above you. And also a lot of the parts in the power plant below on the second level have been reworked too, and just filled in with more stuff to make it look a little bit realistic and not just an empty shell that you pointlessly walk through. Things to look at, there's things to interact with, there's a few secrets, a few parkour llamas that you need to go out and find in the power plant. In addition to that, the airport is now basically complete. I think I'm still missing a few things that I'll get to later, but the airport looks fantastic. Way better than just the boring, empty, wooden floored building from before. We've got a real luggage conveyor system. We've got monitors with all the flight plans. We've got that baggage claim. We got bathrooms. We've got a snack area and a rest area. We got a little mini office and a control tower area. And then aside from that, it really just looks like there's a lot of weird setting errors that mess things up sometimes, and there's a lot of little tiny cosmetic tweaks like adding the right fences and the right walls and things like that to the different buildings to complete the look. So overall, this is a crazy huge update for everything Left for Death chapters 1, 2, and 3. So again, thank you for watching. Thanks for coming and spending the time with the patch notes. Happy hunting.